as coming home.
Great, great. No matter how disenchanted the old soldier is,
he will never shy away from the barracks.
Can't refuse. That's ABA Fuseini. That's what we know him for. So we are not just here to talk about the proverbs, though it's our main part of the conversation. Where did he learn them? What's the wisdom in them? Why are they important? Why must we add it to our conversation, our national dialogue? But we are asking you to rep your region. If you can challenge ABA Fuseini, you can send in yours on 0244340437. The proverbs from your region. Is it the Western region? Is it the Eastern region? Is it Western North? Is it Greater Accra? Is it Eastern? Or I said Eastern, Volta, OT. 0244340437. Coming up a bit later on the Super Morning Show, in 2013, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration in the US estimated that distraction was a factor of about 10% of all fatal motor vehicle crashes and 18% of all crashes involving causing injury. Since using earphones is a major distraction for road users, we get some education from the Road Safety Authority in our hashtag #ArriveAlive campaign. Now, speaking of the roads, isn't it frustrating when after only a few months, freshly asphalted roads begin to deteriorate? Today on Corruption Watch, the Auditor General discovers consultants and GHA did not ensure that the Ayamfuri to New Obwasi Road project met the quality specifications. The road is even developing potholes only a few months after construction. More from the AG's report, including contracts sole sourced questionably and gross lack of value for money. Our spotlight is on roads today on Corruption Watch. But GT Bank has the most amazing news for all salaried workers. We just slashed the interest rate on quick credits to 1.5% per month to enable you access more money at the lowest interest rate in Ghana. This means you can now borrow up to 100% of your monthly salary at only 1.5%. You heard right, an instant facility at 1.5% interest rate for 30 days. If you're a salaried worker with a GT Bank account, simply dial *737*0#, select payday credits and follow the prompts to access quick credits. No paperwork, no hidden charges. Call 0302-611-560 or toll free 0800-124-000 for further inquiries or assistance. Guarantee Trust Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us? Dial *700# to enjoy too much data on Vodafone. For only 10 Ghana cedis, you get 1.5 gigabytes of data valid for 15 days. For 20, you get double value of 4 gigabytes data valid for a month. And for 50, you get a whopping 10 gigabytes of data valid for 1 month. That's not all. Even when your data bundle runs out, you still get to use WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram for free. I mean, absolutely free. That's the magic of *700#. So what are you waiting for? Dial *700# now so you can browse and chill on Vodafone. So the proverbial soldier is back in the barracks. ABA Fuseini is back in a radio studio. As you heard him say earlier, it's been 30 years practicing as a journalist. He's now a member of parliament, former deputy Northern Region minister, and also a son of Sagnarigu. So let's begin today's conversation, Alaji, by telling us how you grew up. How was life like in Sagnarigu decades ago when you were just a boy?
Yeah, let me take the opportunity again to say good morning to the good people. If I would call them the Blichina people of the Sagnarigu constituency. Blichina in the Ghanaian people of integrity. Growing up as a child, those I can't claim to be an old person, but I'm also not too young. At least I'm 60 plus.
Wow.
And so those times cannot be compared to today. The circumstances were very different. The challenges were really very daunting in those days. Even for some of us, it had to take some serious intervention. In my case, for instance, it had to take the intervention of my mother for me to go to school.
Wow.
My daddy started as a farmer and developed into somebody who was doing his own business. But my mother had the foresight to actually insist that I should go to school. My father wanted me to join him on the farm to help him. At that time, I had a senior brother, but my senior brother was not living with us. He was living with my senior father. You know, in typical Dagbon culture and custom, when you are in the nuclear family and you have a senior brother, when you bring forth a male child, your first male child will go to your senior brother.
Really?
Yes, mostly in those times when the culture was really unadulterated, and we had this pure Dagbon custom and tradition working. So my senior brother was with my father's senior brother.
Okay. So that was your senior father?
Yes, my senior father. And so I was the immediate person with my father at that time. And so I used to go to farm with him. In fact, we lived with some other people who were from the south, from the Volta region and others.
Okay.
I remember very well when they got to school going age. My peers were sent to school. I was still at home. And so when they came back after 1 year and I saw their uniform, others, I was inspired. And I said, no, I also wanted to go. And it instigated nearly a rebellion in the house.
Wow.
And my mother had to plead with the old man to let me go to school. It was some bit of argument. But eventually, I'm sure my mother prevailed. And so that's how I went to school, 1962, 63.
1962?
Yes.
Wow.
I enrolled in Tishigu Anglican Primary School. In those days, a lot of them were mission schools. The missionaries had come to the north to evangelize, and part of the thing was to set up schools to this thing. So I found myself in Tishigu Anglican Primary School, which was just a stone throw from my place.
Were you close to your father?
Yeah, very well. Very well. I can say without any iota of hesitation that both my father and mom were very good people. They were very progressive in terms of not too hard on their children, trying to let you have the opportunity to learn things.
Okay.
Of course, except that, like I said, at that time the old man wanted somebody to help him
on the farm.
So obviously,
was it a large family?
Yeah.
About how many children?
Oh, you mean the immediate family?
Yeah, the immediate family.
No, we're not large. I think, like I said, as at that time, I was the only son. I was the only child with him at that time.
The only child?
Yes, and then later on some brothers joined me.
Okay.
But as at that material time, I was the only child with him. And
so you must have developed quite a bond, being the only child with his father.
And that is why the old man wanted me to
stay on the farm with him.
And also stay. But I'm sure my mom had some other very progressive ideas about the era in which we were transiting. And so that is why I always say that no matter how tall you are, you can't see tomorrow. It is the wisdom that is imbued in people by the Almighty Allah that my mother was able to foresee the times and indicated to that to allow me to go to school. And so for me, the wisdom of our mothers is immense. We should not underrate.
Not at all.
For those of us who are husbands and others, sometimes when our wives see certain things and tell us, we should respect their views and their vision, because sometimes what they can see lying on their bellies, when you climb the tallest tree, you won't see it.
It's true.
So it is very, very important for us to accord them that respect and dignity and listen to them. But for my mother's insistence, I'm not sure I would have gone through to become what I am today by the grace of Allah Almighty, and to be able to be here sharing these ideas with you in the studio.
And we are grateful to her as well for the role that she played.
I have monumental respect for my mom, and I will say to her any time, any day, that I'm forever eternally grateful to her for whatever contributions she has made to get me to where I am.
Beautiful.
So from Tishigu Anglican Primary School, went to Kalpohem Middle, and then to Yendi Secondary School from 1 to 5. Then,
a true son of the North.
Yes, and then to Tia Media Secondary School in Kumasi.
In Kumasi, yeah.
For my 6th form.
Okay, okay.
Then to the University of Ghana, Legon, where I did political science. Graduated 84, 85. Then did my postgraduate diploma in journalism in the International Institute of Journalism, Berlin. And then I went for my master's in 1992, the University of Essex in England. And since then, came back and plunged fully. I had been in the media before I went for all these courses, but I came back and devoted the rest of my time.
You dived in
to
with reckless abandon. That's great. But my listeners are so curious about the town Sanarigu and how it was back in the late 50s and the early 60s. And you've already alluded to the fact that it will be typical for a son to be taken to his uncle and to serve. What are the other practices and customs that you remember from when you were a boy?
Yeah, growing up in that extended family, there was one thing that there was a common solidarity that was cultivated in the family. For instance, you had a number of boys all eating from the same bowl. It could be 6, 7, 8. You all ate from the same bowl. And there was no way your mother would be seen openly calling you and giving you food separately. So it engendered in all of us a sense of brotherhood and solidarity, growing up in that symbol of oneness of the family. So that the lesson that was inculcated into you is that you are all one. You must do things together. In solidarity and in unity, you will triumph. And so this was the idea behind our fathers trying to get us to do things together.
Even though you may not have been blood brothers at the time.
No, from different mothers.
Good.
I'm even saying from different mothers. Even from different mothers, different fathers. But you all eat together in the same bowl. You do things. When you are going to farm, you all go together. They encourage all of you to do things together.
So most of you were farmers?
Yes. The predominant occupation at that time was farming.
Okay.
And from small-scale farming to larger scale, especially when around 72, Champon came with his Operation Feed Yourself and others. The agricultural sector boomed. And then you had a lot of rice farmers, especially, growing prosperous through the government intervention in helping to cultivate rice. Ghana was a net exporter now of rice to neighboring countries in the sub-region. And so it generated a lot of wealth.
Interesting.
For many nascent farmers in the north. And some of our fathers were beneficiaries of that system. I'm sure it also contributed to enhancing the opportunities for education for some of our brothers and sisters, just not only within Ghana, but even outside the country, where they now had the capacity to sponsor their children to go out and do some of these courses and come back and be useful citizens of this nation. So Sanargu has been a traditional bastion of Dagbon, where the unadulterated culture and traditions and customs of the people are reflected. No wonder if they mention one of the most respected paramounts in Dagbon, Sanargu will stand. You can't mention 1, 2, and Sanargu will not be there. And by the hierarchy of the chieftaincy institution in Dagbon, the Yana is the pinnacle of Dagbon authority and custom. And so, but Sanargu is principally a scheme that is reserved for the sons of Yanas.
Okay.
So you can move from Sanargu and eventually go to the system and become a Yana. Oh,
okay. Okay.
There have been a number of Yanas who have moved from Sanargu eventually to become Yanas.
So I met Sanarigu now when I went for the 6th March celebration last year.
And this time I can say without any hesitation, we have a very, very progressive chief. Not only is he highly educated, I'm sure you remember his last position was that he was the ambassador to Senegal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's distinguished himself very creditably in the profession that is, and he speaks a number of languages. Not only just many Ghanaian languages, but English, French, Spanish. He speaks so many languages. Since becoming the chief of Sanargu, he's brought his accumulated wisdom and experience to bear on the development of Sanargu. And so together with him, we have been partners in the development of Sanargu. And I can tell you that Sanargu has seen monumental level of development under his watch as the paramount chief of the area.
It's beautiful. It's exactly 8 a.m. here on the Super Morning Show on Joy997 FM. We are having our breakfast with AVA Fuseini. He's Member of Parliament for Sanarigu. He's also former Deputy Northern Region Minister. He's also very well known for using proverbs and using them so eloquently. He's dropped a few already this morning, both on and off air, the man that we know him to be. But, Alaji, speaking of these proverbs, when did you start using them? When did you start lacing your language with it?
Oh, our people say that when you make the vulture your delegate, you don't show it the villages again. It's natural. It's not something that you consciously sit down and say this at this particular time. As we speak, it comes. It's a gift. Let me first and foremost say that it's a gift of the Almighty Allah. Like any other person, God has His way of giving people specific gifts, and I believe that is a gift. And secondly, our old people are a store of wisdom. They are a deep-seated fountain of wisdom. And so I would encourage, especially with the young ones, to endeavor anytime we have the opportunity to go, when you go home to the village or to your town or wherever, to endeavor to visit them, sit down with them, and you can learn very, very useful things.
Who are these old people? Who are some of the old people that you learned so much from?
Oh, some of them are parents. Some of them are not even just related to us, but they are old people in the community. They are people of repute and integrity in the community. And so when you sit with them, in their speeches, you can imbibe a lot of useful lessons, including the proverbs that I talk about. There are many of them I've learned from them.
Oh, okay.
When they speak and you listen to them, in Dagbani is a rich culture of proverbs.
Okay.
I dare say that there's no language that is richer in the culture of proverbs than Dagbani. They say that you don't frighten a chief warrior with a mustache. It's his trademark. In Dagbon, proverbs are synonymous with us. So nobody throws that challenge to the Gombes. It's natural.
I don't think any other culture is well represented with proverbs in the country, I should say. The way you do.
Of course, when you say Dagbani, it also includes our brothers. You know, the sons of Nagbewa, the Gombes, Mamprusis, and Nanumbes. And so that what I'm saying encompasses the others, the Mamprusis and the Nanumbes. So we, as part of that fraternity, proverbs are a normal way of communicating. And sometimes to say so many words, you say a few proverbs, and that summarizes what you want to say, and that is rich in communication. It's a tool that you can use to select your diction in a manner that it can convey the right message to whoever you are communicating with.
So it's very important to use proverbs in Dagbani.
Very, very important. Hardly would you see, especially the older folks, speaking and proverbs don't come. In Dagbani, it flows naturally. No,
why do you think it's like that?
I think it's part of the language, part of the custom. It is also an opportunity for you to distinguish between those who are steeped in the tradition and those who are prevaricating between the tradition and so-called modernity. And are not really well versed in the traditional craft of speech.
Okay.
In traditional Dagbani. And so for me and that's why I said it's always important when you have a small time at your disposal to learn. Because our people tell you that if for nothing at all, if the old man has no morsel of food to give you, he has an item of wisdom to give you, to impart to you by way of proverbs, so that you can live a better life tomorrow. And so it's always good to share your time with the old people, and I can say that you will never regret it. On the contrary, you'll be a better person in the society, not just because of the stock of wisdom you learn, but it will help you in your practical daily life.
So, at what age did you start using these proverbs the way you use them now?
Oh, like I said, even when we're growing up, even as children, you speak and
it just drops.
When the occasion comes, it comes. So it is not as if you consciously select a period when, no, from our childhood.
Oh, okay.
And I can tell you that there are many, many children today, even when you go to Tamale or any of the areas in Dagbon, they will speak to you, and children will give you proverbs.
So it's not as if you were standing out. It's just something that you always.
Oh, I just have the opportunity to speak in the public domain.
Oh.
And the opportunity is there for me to exhibit. But I'm sure that even if they match me against some other people, I'll be flawed in no time. I can assure you that, as our people say, no matter how broad your shoulders are, they can't go around a baobab tree. The saying is just that you are not the repository of wisdom. So sitting here, I can't claim to be the repository of
Proverbs.
The Ghana Proverbs. There are many, many people who surely, if the opportunity exists, they will do better. But it's just that I took the opportunity to also advertise our custom, tradition, and culture. And let the whole world know that the Dagbani is one of the richest languages that we can have, and it's a very powerful tool for communication. And so I'm sure that if we even adopt Dagbani as one of our languages, it will enhance our communication skills, our culture, our tradition.
One of our national languages.
I would wish so.
I wish we could adopt Proverbs, whichever language they may be.
Nobody will spit only put in his mouth out. And, if you don't lick your lips, the Hamatan will patch them for you. So I'm sure that it's always good to try and advertise your language. Your language, and, I'm sure that we never know. At the end of the day, those things could inure to the benefit of our country, not just only the Gombes per se, but the country as a whole. Because once even these things go out, today, some time ago, I saw BBC even compile a list of some of the proverbs in Dagbani, and I was thrilled, and I think that these are things that we should take serious and ensure that it inures to the benefit of us as a people.
Hello, Daniel. My name is Donald Ato Dapatem, a reporter with Daily Graphic. Alaji ABA, you know him very well?
Yes, well, I was in Graphic with him.
Good. He
worked under me when I was a political editor.
Hey, I have a few questions about your days to Daily Graphic. Alaji ABA Fuseini was one of the few people who guided us in journalism when we first entered Daily Graphic. This good man does not eat alone. And I remember as a young reporter, he will always insist that we eat from the same bowl with him. Well, Donald, if you were listening, we now know why he does that, because of his days in Sanarigu. Yes, he was very empathetic and will fight for the rights of the youngest reporter. The dirtiest water can quench fire. Baba, I salute you, says Donald. What does that mean? The dirtiest water can quench fire.
It just goes to indicate to you that in the face of difficulty, you can make do with a solution depending on even what you have. So you don't always throw your hands in the air in despair and think that you are bereft of any solution. Try what you have. And so that's why we said, even normally, if water is dirty and you put it on live coal, will not distinguish it. It will. So throw whatever you have at your problem. If it's not able to solve it, then you look for some other solutions.
Wow. It's 8 minutes past 8.
Notwithstanding the argument that no matter how handsome you are, you still need to bath.
No matter how handsome you are, you still need to bath. Okay. Does the use of proverbs entitle one to special courtesies back home, like in the King's Palace or what have you?
Yeah, that's why I say that if you no doubt be seen as a good communicator, and in our society they respect people who have the communication skills. I mean, in a chief's palace, what would the chief like more than somebody who can convey his message more effectively to his audience? And so invariably, those who are linguists and selected to be linguists of the chief, they are strong. They are well anchored on communication skills with proverbs, because that is the way they can summarize what the chief says in some brief language, and everybody understands. As soon as they speak in that language, it conveys the message.
I have an Akan proverb that fits what you're saying. A child who learns how to wash his hands will eat with elders.
Sure.
A child who
we have it that the child who washes his hands. We have this dawa fruit, yellowish like that.
Yeah.
So you mash it. So the government say that the child whose hands are clean mashes the eldest dawa for him.
Oh, okay. Okay. Give us one more. How's we go on the break?
Yes. You know, like I said, proverbs come as a result of something you want to express. So that's why I say that more often than not, it comes voluntarily. If you just want to list proverbs, I can say 100 here. Okay, you can just say them as you go.
Yeah.
But it makes meaning when you say it to reflect a certain situation. Because like I said, you are communicating and you want to communicate a certain message to somebody. So you use the proverb to cut down on the number of words you would have otherwise used. If it's a very long word, you just use a proverb to summarize what you want to say. But as for proverbs, I'm sure that if you want them, we can release as many
as we would like. Okay, we'll come back and then we'll list a few situations for us to capture them in proverbs. Julius from Mr. says, if you see a pregnant goat in the market for sale, it means there's a pregnancy problem.
There already is a pregnant problem in the house. Because you see, what it tells you is that no one sells his or her pregnant animal. A lie? Because you want the pregnant animal to deliver and multiply. But it takes, if you see somebody selling a pregnant animal, it means there's a very serious problem
with pregnancy.
No, there's a serious problem in the house which is necessitating him to go and sell the pregnant goat.
Oh, so the problem is the pregnant
So it means that the problem is pregnant. When you say that it's a pregnant problem, it's a really big problem. It must be a problem of gargantuan proportion that will compel you to go and sell your pregnant goat.
Alaji ABA Fuseini, you do all. My name is George Atakra. Keep your messages coming. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Are you ready to make a change? A new partner to journey your way, to explore the things you never imagined. With our bank, you're ahead of the race. Committed to you, a partner for life, Our bank will go the distance with you. No matter the problem, we'll brighten your day, transform your life now.
Cowbank, forward together.
Master, are you still running out of airtime? Make unlimited Airtel Tigo calls from as little as 60 pesos a day to 20 cedis for a whole 6 months. Simply dial *111# and select unlimited call bundles today.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
It's called the phone to end all cameras, with pioneering features like 100 times space zoom, which has captured the imagination of the world. Pre-order the revolutionary Galaxy S20 series now and change the way you experience the world. Get free Galaxy Buds Plus and free screen repair voucher valued at 2,900 Ghana cedis when you pre-order today. Pre-order at any authorized Samsung dealer nationwide. Offer available from now till 12th March. Terms and conditions apply.
In a world where everything is changing around you, sometimes you need to turn to someone you can trust. You want to move with a change in safe hands, and we are here to help. At Societe Generale Ghana, we understand change because we have transformed and evolved. No matter how our name may change, 43 years of retail and corporate banking expertise never changes, ensuring stability and trust. Digital innovation as the world moves forward to help you adapt, upgrade, and keep up. Bank with Societe Generale Ghana and enjoy doing your banking your way, whenever you choose. In our digital zones with cutting-edge digital banking products and quality services, you deserve a better bank and great rewards. We agree, the world only moves because you make it move. SG Ghana, the future is you.
Roverman Productions presents the latest Ebuwhite play, Final Warning.
Hello, Vic. Oh, old man, leave me alone. If you like, just spend one night with me and see if you can still call me old. Dream on. I'm going to marry you.
Over my dead body. You are old enough to be my grandfather.
Your father, maybe, but definitely not your grandfather. Don't mind the body, mind the engine. And my engine is still very powerful. Vroom, vroom.
Final Warning shows on February 29th, 1st March, and the Independence Day 4-day holiday weekend, 6th, 7th, and 8th March at the National Theatre. Rates 80 Ghana cedis. Time 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Tickets available now at Joy FM. We can find supermarket, Frankie's, Hacho and Bachana Total, Mile 7 Goyle, Shell Shops at Airport, East Legon, Achimota, Sakaman, Dansuman, and Temas Community 11. Or WhatsApp 050-554-6030. Partners Joy FM and National Theatre. Final warning. Buy your tickets now. Roverman Productions. Be the difference.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best on Joy 99.7 FM.
Region and tell us what proverbs you know from your hometown. But before that, Alaji would comment on a few topical issues of national importance. But coming up a bit later on Corruption Watch, revelations from the Auditor General's performance audit report on selected roads, which provide insightful information on whether Ghana is spending wisely on road projects and the role agencies like the Ghana Highways Authority are playing. Stay tuned for that conversation. Also, in a 2012 survey, it was found that using portable music players is one of the most commonly performed potentially distracting behavior whilst driving. Let me know if you've seen anyone using earphones whilst driving or crossing the road. Today in our hashtag Arrive Alive conversation, we focus on using earphones. Are you looking for a 1, 2 or 3-seater and L-shaped sofa crafted to the finest details and available in various colors for your home, office or hotels? Are you looking for comfortability, durability, quality and perfect finishing? Look no further. Latex Foam is your one-stop shop destination, whatever your choice or budget. Latex Foam, your partner for life. Today's agenda is brought to you by Societe Generale SG Ghana. The future is you. Now it's daybreak. A hawker sells ice drinks to thirsty passengers. A young boxer in Bukom trains to become a champion. An aspiring young executive prepares for her first job. Where does this drive towards success come from? At APSA, it's Africanacity. It's the inspiration behind who we are and what we do. It's our commitment to helping people find a way to get things done. We love Africanacity. To find out more, visit apsa.com.gh. It's 18 minutes past 8. Back to our conversation with Alaji ABA Fuseini. So, Alaji, how did you feel when the Speaker of Parliament asked that journalists focus on what's happening in the chamber and sought to suggest that their accreditation will be revoked if they report on other matters while the chamber is sitting?
Yeah, you see, Danny, when your mouth is full of water, you cannot blow to the candle fire. You see, if you are clothed with the authority to issue directives, and you are yourself caught up in a situation where the directives that you are issuing run counter to even some of the conduct you engage in, it's very difficult for you.
How so?
Yes, let me give the explanation. Mr. Speaker was saying that to a large extent, coverage of, and respectfully, let me say up in the show that I have a lot of respect. The deep-seated respect for the Speaker. In fact, he taught me political science in my second year in the University of Ghana, Legon. But I respectfully disagreed with what directives he issued, and in this respect, because even sometimes Mr. Speaker himself leaves the chamber, goes to do other business in his office or in other offices, and the media will have to follow him. They leave the plenary or the chamber and follow him. So, if under no circumstance they are supposed to leave the chamber while proceedings are ongoing, even his own conduct, when he has to leave the chamber and the media has to follow him, betrays that directive. Am I lying? But more importantly, Danny, we are saying that when you are giving accreditation to cover Parliament, we are talking of Parliament as an institution. We are talking of proceedings of Parliament to encompass more than even just in the chamber. I remember just even recently, Mr. Speaker ruled that the media should cover committee meetings. Okay? And so, if the media has to cover committee meetings, it will of necessity mean that they may have to leave the chamber at a certain point. Okay? And when committees are not sitting, members, there are caucuses and others who hold press briefings and press conferences. And even individual ranking members, chairmen and others, they brief the media. In the foyer, in the coffee shop, in the other, all those things are within the precincts of Parliament. And so, covering procedures of Parliament of necessity must include and encompass all these avenues that I've talked about. So, how can, by any stretch of logic, that be construed to mean that it is just to cover only proceedings on the floor? And in any case, the editorial content of the media houses is not decided by Parliament. Parliament may accord them accreditation, but what goes into their editorial content is a function of the determination of the media houses themselves.
The Speaker says they are guests of Parliament.
Yes.
They go there as Parliament's guests,
yes.
And if you're a guest, you should go where you've been invited to.
Yes, I'm sure that if you are hungry, you don't jump into the cooking pot. Okay? In as much as you go to Parliament at the invitation of the Speaker and you are looking for news, it is not as if you just confine yourself to the chamber, even when there's breaking news outside.
Mm.
I mean, a media man, myself, and all of us, we know that the media thrives on news.
Mm.
That where the news is where the media gravitates. And so it's like telling a firefly in the darkness not to gravitate towards light. It is not possible. It's natural. And that is where you even thrive and exist. If you were to confine yourself, any journalist who confines himself only to the chamber risks being irrelevant in Parliament. I can tell you, because the greater part of the news is not almost always in the chamber. It's outside. And so if you confine yourself and your colleagues are outside making the news, your editor will recall you. Because you are not doing. And more importantly, Danny, we all know that the constitution of this republic forbids censorship of the media.
Mm. You think this amounts to censorship?
It's an attempt to gag. Because if you were to put me in a situation where, look, I see that there's breaking news here, I can make news here, but I cannot go out. It's an infringement, not only an infringement on my editorial independence, but also even censoring me in such a manner that I cannot do the work for which I am sent there.
The majority leader says it's simply fatherly advice from the Speaker.
No, well, how can an advice include the threat of a sanction? If you are advising somebody, how does that constitute a threat? Because clearly in that same statement, Mr. Speaker made it clear that those who fail to live by the injunction he has spread risk clear withdrawal. I'm sure you heard it.
Mm. Mm.
So how can you be brandishing the carrot and still be holding the cordial? Because it doesn't gel. And I thought that if it was an advice, it could have been done. Look, try as much as possible to spend some considerable time in the chamber. Even when you think you have to go outside and do a few things, yes, do that and come back. That one will consider. But when you follow it with a threat, why? If you haven't stolen, why are you running in a market?
Still live on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. I'm Daniel Dazi here with ABA Fuseini. Closely linked to that is the recent closure of various radio stations. Radio Tongue is one of them. The minority walked out of Parliament during the State of the Nation address because of that. I spoke to the Communications Minister, Esther Usekofo. You're on the Communications Committee of Parliament.
Yes, I can shed some light on.
Yes. Okay, so tell us the thinking behind what you did, especially since the Communications Ministry says they followed the law and they are simply enforcing it.
Yes, Danny, you say that when the landlord is there to tell the eloquent story of his house, you don't ask the caretaker for confirmation. As a member of the committee, I have up-to-date information on what happened in respect of this radio. Indeed, it was our committee under the aegis of us who summoned the Minister for Communication, the National Communication Authority. At that time, Radio Gold, some of the radio stations that were closed down, Radio Gold, XYZ, and some of the Mantambo and some of the radio stations. And our committee had sought to go into the matter with the view to see if we can prefer an amicable solution. And let me say up in show that, yes, there were some responsibilities that some of the radio stations failed to meet. So they had questions on their own to answer, no doubt about that. But like the ruling of the Electronic Communication Tribunal indicated, that the NCA was itself complicit in procedural impropriety, and that they had been lax in their duty to ensure that the right things were done.
What's impropriety?
Procedural impropriety. You know, the Communications Act specifies certain provisions where you are, even when you are supposed to shut down a radio station, there are certain steps that ought to be taken. Okay, adequate notification, giving them the right to remedy the situation in which they are. So, for instance, like I said, some of the radio stations were complicit in certain responsibilities they are in nature. So, for those ones where the media NCA was not, the intent was not to be punitive, but reformative, they had to give the media houses the opportunity to remedy the situation of the inadequacy they found themselves in. So that if they were supposed to renew their frequencies for authorization, and they didn't do that, there was a sanction. There was a fine that they could pay. So that after paying the fine, you will give them the opportunity to reapply. And then if the spirit is that, it's not punitive, you simply restore the frequency or the authorization back to them to continue. But in this case, it did not happen that way. It was, in fact, it was like killing a mosquito with a sledgehammer.
But the tribunal did not say that they acted outside of their powers. They simply said that they did not follow some procedures.
Yes, yes, and you know that procedure is important, Danny. You can't say procedure is not important in law. Even if you go and read Article 296 of the Constitution, which talks about even investing you with discretion and power, it says that you have a duty to be fair. Okay, and considered in the exercise of that discretion. So yes, that is why I say that the committee sought to go into the matter because the minister indicated that Radio Gold and other districts had sent the ministry to court, and on the basis of that, they could not allow them to, they could not sit down with them to talk when they had dragged them to court. So through the intervention of the committee, we got a word from the minister that look, if the cases were withdrawn, they will be allowed to reapply to the NCA, and the NCA would then consider their applications and grant them their frequencies to operate. So that was the understanding of the committee, and the committee managed to convince Radio Gold, XYZ, and others to as it were, go and withdraw the cases from court. They actually withdrew, and Radio Gold actually applied to the NCA. And in all fairness, NCA had actually started considering the applications. But I can say without any iota of hesitation that the word came from above, that they should cease forthwith. Even when we are sat down with the minister, and the minister had shown some degree of appreciation to do something about it. And so this word from above has certified.
How did you know there was a word from above?
Oh, my brother. They say that when you even cough in the market, even the deaf can understand what you have said. So it is not a secret in the media landscape that we are, especially as members of this committee dealing with this matter. The NCA had actually started considering it. What made them stop?
But it's not too late. The NCA can still continue it. Have you tried to find out, for instance?
In fact, there was a letter written by the Minister for Communications
to the NCA,
to the committee, indicating that she no longer had any interest in pursuing the matter.
The restoration of the license.
Yes, and that it was dead.
Did she give reasons?
No.
Did you ask why?
Yeah, we tried from the level of the committee. That is why I'm saying that going under, this is what we found. And I can say without any iota of hesitation that Danny, when the house has fallen, do you still ask whether the roof is still standing? It's clear.
Is it 30 a.m.?
It's a matter of regret, and I find it regrettable because under His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, who all along has touted his credentials not just as a human rights activist, but as a champion of freedom of expression. It is only under his watch, from President Rawlings through President Kufuor, through to President Atta Mills, to President Mama, the media landscape has expanded. So one would have even expected that for somebody who had harbored these credentials for all this while, under his watch,
right,
the media would have even burst the seams. And under his watch, the media is contracting. There is so much, Danny, there's so much intolerance.
Alaji, just a moment. Let's open the phone lines. I'll let you continue, but let's open the phone lines now if you want to come into this conversation about any questions, any contributions. 0302-216-541, 0302-216-541, 0244-340437. I have a question here. Please ask ABA Fuseini, why did he donate 12 benches, 5 benches, and 43 benches to his constituents the other day?
Fantastic. You know the reason why a member of parliament can survive long is when you listen to the needs, interests, and aspirations of my people, of your people. Indeed, in my rounds, in my constituency, there are many places where the youth and others, women, they congregate, but they have no furniture. And in my rounds, they appeal to me at the various branches. In fact, I have more than 1,700 groupies of this nature in my constituency. More than 1,700.
And they asked for benches.
They asked for chairs, they asked for benches, they asked for furniture. Because when they hold their meetings, invariably, you'll be surprised, some even have to spread mat and sit.
So you donated 12 at a point.
So this was just, these are to, this over 1,700 I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a big branch. Okay. We are talking about a group of 100, 150 people congregating at where they meet.
Okay.
So these are the small groups. So for each of them, I gave 20 plastic chairs and about 5 benches. And I can tell you that it has caught on so well. They are so appreciative that indeed a lot of them have even sent delegations to come to greet me and tell me that MP, for those of us who don't have, please, we are waiting for our turn.
Interesting.
So you see, Danny, it's just in our politics, you know, your political opponent, even when you are swimming, you say you are generating dust. Because whatever ignores your political benefit, you want to ridicule it for you to shy away from it. And whenever you see your political opponent groaning, it means you are achieving success.
That was a question from Isahaku Big Bene. Peter T from Sukura has joined us on the phone lines. Good morning, Peter. Do you have a proverb from your region?
I think we've been learning this proverb many a times from Alaji. And he's been teaching us some of these proverbs, but some of us are still finding it difficult to cope with them. But Alaji, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Alaji, in your constituency, I think having listened to you carefully, it means that you have been doing a lot as an MP to your constituency. And I believe that your party is also directly involved when it comes to political organization in your constituency. Of recent, you've been part of the demonstration that is protesting seriously against the compilation of the new voter register. And as at now, I think that your party, even though has taken a stand, what is your personal observation and what you think that this new register, compilation of the new register is coming to have, either a negative effect or whatever effect? Because, yes, I want your understanding of this new, either if it is given the chance to come on, what will be the effect, against your party?
Peter, thank you very much for your question. Alaji will answer yours after we take a few more. Lincoln is on the line for Makwete Man. Good morning, Lincoln.
Good morning.
Yes, Lincoln. Do you have a proverb that you want to quote for us this morning?
Oh, no. I don't have a proverb. That is why I always enjoy listening to Honorable ABA Fuseini. I want to commend him for all that he's doing. You see, let me say something about this benches that he gave to his constituency. This donation, or I don't know if I should say donation, have gained some roots in the media space. You see, my village, I come from Shai Usudoku. And when you get to some of the villages, you just go and give somebody a kitchen stool, and you see how the person will thank you a lot. Because they don't have it. And people were making fun of that. Look, for me, I will encourage Honorable to do more. And then also, I want to know from him what is happening in his constituency up to now. Because we've been hearing some information on several platforms that he has not been going around to see what is happening. I don't know whether it's true or not. So I want to hear
that
from
he
him
doesn't
myself.
visit his constituency. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, not visiting. The reason is that they didn't see any change or some development going on.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
I would like to hear from him.
Okay. He'll answer that as well. Israel is on the line from Tema. Good morning, Israel.
Hello. Good morning, Danny. How are you?
I am blessed. Israel, how are you?
I'm good. My greeting to the ADF Fuseini.
Yeah, thank you.
I just love him. Anytime he's taking, his speech full of proverbs. I love it more than everybody. I like you for saying hallelujah.
Thank you very much, my brother.
One question I want to ask is, we are hearing the new register will be changing, but I heard the PRO of UC saying that we are having 82,000 police stations across the country, but they are going to use only 8,000 machines to run all the 32,000 police stations. How effective could that be? Second, how are you going to make sure that you, the opposition party, you press the UC to make sure they have the adequate machine to distribute to each of every police station before, if they are able to do this registration, they should do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Frank is on the line from Jolu. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Daniel.
Great. Frank, do you have a proverb to share with us?
Oh, I'm an Ashanti. I have one.
Mm-hmm.
Abofra bonwa na ombo achichidie.
Abofra bonwa ombo achichidie.
Abofra bonwa ombo achichidie.
Ombo achichidie.
A child calls snail but not tortoise.
What does that mean?
To which there are certain things that are the preserve of the elderly, and so a child cannot have access to or cannot make inputs to.
In other words, monkeys play by sizes.
Exactly. Somehow. Anyway, then let's move on. Before I come to ABA, then there's this thing that is on my heart. I just want to quickly, please, let us not wait for the rains to be causing havoc before 10 media men there to be telling us what is happening. I beg you, send your reporters around. Let us know the situation of the choke gutters and all the other problems in the areas, so we can put it to the authorities for them to address them, so we don't come back to the ritual of this is happening here and this is happening. That's something upon my heart. Anyway, I enjoy listening to Mr. ABA. He's a true Ghanaian. I wish to all speak like that and to market our culture and where we are coming from.
Okay.
Happy Ghana month.
Happy Ghana month to you as well, bro. Frank from Jolu. Poncho is on the line from Wenchi. Good morning, Poncho. Hi, Poncho. Good morning.
Daniel, good morning. How are you?
I am blessed. Poncho, what proverbs do you use at Wenchi? Oh, unfortunately, we seem to have lost him there. Still have the Super Morning Show, 22 minutes to the top of the hour, 9 a.m. So there were a few issues that were raised by the listeners, specifically about the new voter register. Of course, this was not really supposed to be a political conversation, but since the listeners have come with those questions, Alaji, in a minute, the new voter register and the issues that have come up.
Yeah, Danny, thank you. Danny, I said earlier on that no matter how broad your shoulders are, they cannot go around a baobab tree. The implication is that no matter how wise you think you are not the repository of knowledge and wisdom. God in his infinite wisdom has endued other people with wisdom and knowledge. So if you endeavor to bring yours and also listen to what others have, it will enrich the content of your knowledge and wisdom and enable you to do things better than you otherwise would have done with only your knowledge. So it is not for nothing that the IPAC was crafted to advise the EC on measures that affect the political parties. So when the members of IPAC and others, some members are preferring some ideas, you don't just quote Article 46 and say the Electoral Commission is clothed with independence and so you cannot listen to anybody. There's no such provision. The fact that Electoral Commission has independence does not stop it from listening to people. And this is a needless register. Look at the timing. Look at the atmosphere of confusion it is bringing to the country. Look at the resources they are going to be expending on it. You see, and if you look at it, Danny, in this time when this country is crying for resources to do so many things, to spend that money, and we are talking of hundreds of millions of Ghana cedis for a register that is already credible. Danny, I've said that, look, this is a register we use to select 2 presidents, President Mahama and President Nana Akufo-Addo, 275 members of parliament, creation of 6 regions,
right?
Election of unit committee and assembly members,
right?
A by-election and I also West will go. So many. So if there's one instrument that is credible, it's the voters register. And if there's anything we need, new we need, it's a new government. The register is very credible, and so I think that the Electoral Commission must listen to the voice of wisdom.
Okay.
Now and then there were issues regarding.
I'll let you come to the other issues. I have another caller from Doma Bing Obusumuru. Obusumuru, what proverb do you want to share from Doma Bing?
Yeah, Daniel, good morning. Okay, so I'm saying that when trees fall on trees, the topmost must be removed first.
When trees fall on trees, the topmost must be removed first.
When trees fall on trees, the topmost must be removed first.
Meaning
when there is issue, we have to solve it from the root that is coming from.
Okay. Okay.
So my question to Mr. ABF Fuseini is, he is talking about the new register that is needless. What does he think that?
So Obusumo, you know what? We want to keep today about celebrating our country. Okay. So we've addressed some of the issues with the voter register. It's an ongoing debate. So there will definitely be time for us to discuss those issues. Okay. Let me go to Accra where Nat is on the line. Good morning, Nat.
Good morning, sir.
Great. Nat, what Accra proverb do you want to share with us today?
Yeah, I'd like to share a Dangote proverb.
Okay.
Which my mother normally, tells us when we were young. And one is, I'll say it in Dangbe. One is Ochichizo Nyakazo, which means that the monitor lizard shame is a crocodile shame. And to translate it loosely, the NDC shame is MPP shame because they are all politicians.
That was a quick one. Thank you very much. That's from my
God. Add to him. Similarly on that is, you see, if it has to take a goat to bite and chase away the intruder, it's the shame of the dog.
If it has to take a goat to chase away the intruder,
it's the shame of the dog.
Interesting.
Because that is the traditional rule the dog should be playing.
The dog should play. Interesting. Kofi Bajimba is on the line from Kumasi. Kofi, what Ashanti proverb do you want to share with us this morning?
Yeah, good morning, Daniel.
Good morning. If your hand is in someone's mouth, you don't hit his head.
The person by the upper head.
Okay.
Else you will be beaten. You see, the Speaker of Parliament, he wants the journalists to bring to public whatever proceedings that goes on in Parliament. It means that Parliament depends on the journalists for their proceedings to be heard in public.
So you've managed to put the Speaker's hand in the mouth of journalists, Kofi. Yeah, very bold man. Israel is on the line from Tema. Good morning, Israel.
Hello, I'm back again. I have a proverb to hear.
Tell me your proverb.
Okay. There's a saying in a way that it doesn't matter how huge or big a crocodile is, it's still from an egg.
It doesn't matter how big a crocodile is, it came from an egg.
Yes.
What does that mean?
it means that even no matter how old a child is or big a child is, can never be like the parents.
Okay. It's like what Alaji was saying earlier. If an elderly person is lying on their belly, they see things that you won't see even if you climb the tree.
Tallest tree.
Yes. It's 15 minutes to the top of the hour. Gideon is on the line to share his proverb as well. Call us on 03022165541. Share your proverb with us as well. Rep your region this morning. The Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, wishes to remind the governing councils of the professional bodies of provisions in the Revenue Administration Act, RAA 2016 Act 915, which requires them to demand tax clearance certificates, TCC, from their members before renewing their professional practice and licenses. Reference is made specifically to the first schedule, Part 2 of the Revenue Administration Act, which states that professional bodies are to make this a requirement for the renewal of practicing licenses. Let me go on the phone lines and speak to Salifu from Koforidia. Good morning, Salifu.
Good morning, my boss. How are you?
I am blessed. Which region are you repping with your proverb?
Upper East.
Tell me.
That's Kusasi. My reputation go. You don't use your left hand to point that this where my mother is coming from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't use left hand to point that this is my mother's house.
Okay, that's one. It's in a number of other cultures. In fact, let me not.
Another one is Danny. Another one is if your mother is dead and you say he's asleep, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Chediak is on the line from South La. Do I have Chediak on the line?
Sure.
Great. Chediak, what's the proverb?
It's in Ewe.
Mm-hmm.
It states that no do didri gamode na de. No do didri gamo na de. When you set up a kalabule trap, you harvest stress. Thank you.
When you set up a kalabule trap, you harvest stress. It reminds me of Etudubona Bikawano. Bernard from Tantra Hill is on the line. Good morning, Bernard.
Yeah, good morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm an Ewe, but I'm going to give a very typical account proverb. It goes like this. Yen tunaho oma edia contemplate na kwanche embedi the body sampan to oma bo with the crime family obroko yen we nam. In short.
Easy, yes. Bernard, easy. In short.
You know, edia contemplate is just like a crooked tree that crosses the footpath for farmers. And as old men pass through carrying their loads of foodstuff, if you don't remove such a tree, it can cause the old men to fall, and some of the stuff will spread into the bush, and certain rats will come and eat. But those rats are not edible. So it is better for you to cut off such a tree and remove it from the footpath to prevent women falling and having their foodstuff, spreading through the bush and other rodents eating them.
Interesting. Thank you very much for calling us, Bernard from Tantra Hill. Ishak is on the line from Asante Bekwai. Good morning, Ishak. Which region are you repping?
Good morning. Of course, I'm repping Asante region.
Okay. What's the proverb?
I can say that unim atupabua unjain wasi.
Ishak, looking for trouble for me.
And then the Wali people also say that.
The Wali people say?
Yeah, the Wali people also say that meaning that no matter how bad your wife is, it is better than sleeping alone.
Okay, thank you very much, Ishak, for calling us from Asante Bekwai. Frank is on the line from Oyarefa. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Dan. I kept on laughing. Our former president has these two proverbs. I laugh when it comes to mind about Anuman Tua, Lord Jinaho, and Abo no Frantoma. I've been laughing over it so much. That's my proverb.
Thank you very much. It's actually a nomen to Obuada. It's actually Frank from Oyari called in with that one. It's 11 minutes till we hit the top of the hour. We can't take any more phone calls. But there's such a rich diversity in proverbs from the listeners that we heard. Unfortunately, we can't address any more issues. In wrapping up, Alaji, we are embarking on our road safety campaign. #ArriveAlive. And it's very important for us. In fact, that's what we're going to do next. 2,000 people die every year from road accidents. It's been so for the past 10 years. From government to government, minister to minister. It's the same thing. So what's your message as we embark on this campaign?
Yeah, Danny, this is a very pathetic situation. It's persisted for long. I've always said that the panacea for hunger is not to hold feces in your stomach. So go look for food to eat. You see, we've pretended that our stomach is full when we are dead hungry, and the problem has persisted. So it is important for all of us to endeavor to come out and help the road safety. It's now a commission.
An authority.
Authority now to do its work. Among others, I think government must first and foremost make it a bounden duty to make the requisite level of resources available for them to perform. If you go and see the resources which they work with is paltry. Of course, I must also add that by no means absolves them of some of the lethargic performance they have put up over the years. I still believe that even with the small resources, they could have done better than they have done. And while we call for more resources for them, they should also be up and doing to ensure that, because road accidents, especially in recent times, have assumed a very alarming proportion. And the more the traffic increases, the more accidents we'll get, and the more needless loss of life. And I'm sure that anywhere in this world, even when one life is lost, it's one life lost too many. And so the society will see it as a matter of urgent concern that everybody should put hands on deck for us to solve that problem. And so I think that it is very, very important, and we need the cooperation of the society, drivers, especially road users, pedestrians, drivers, and all other road users have a bounden duty, and of course, including our police. I am the first to admit that we have very diligent police officers, but there are some few bad lots who take some distance and compromise road safety measures. And so it is important for all of us to deal with this matter holistically, because the issue of traffic is not an isolated matter. We should deal with it on a holistic basis so that together all of us will work to reduce that menace. But I just wanted to respond a bit to somebody who said something about my constituency.
Go ahead.
I'm sure my constituents are listening. Danny, I've always said that the dance of the goat can never please the hyena, no matter how gracefully it dances. And I said earlier on that why, if you are swimming and your opponent doesn't like you, you say you are generating dust, even though you are swimming. So you see, politically, your opponents will make negative comments about your performance. And let me put it on record. I entered politics from a very humble background, that having come from the media and interacted with the people at the level, I needed to go and serve my people. And I can say without any iota of doubt that ever since I went to the Sandaro constituency was created in 2012, my constituents are my eloquent witnesses. They will tell you the level of development. The constituency has seen unprecedented level of development. To the point that, Danny, apart from 2012, no political party won one police station in my constituency. In 2012, no other political party apart from NDC. In 2016, no other political party won one police station in my constituency. It's a tribute to the hard work that we've done. And I'm sure we will mark it down by the grace of Allah Almighty. The trend is going to continue, because I have served my people with to the best of my ability. I will not stand here and claim. Well, I'm a very fallible mortal. But I can say without any doubt, the sincerity and the humility with which we've served and responded to the interests and aspirations of our people.
Right.
It's something that people will look at and judge. I think that Ghanaians, nobody should take Ghanaians for granted. You see, you don't plant maize and harvest cassava. whatever you plant is what you reap.
And
I can tell you without any doubt that if you send your son to the hereafter, you return, you may not recognize him. So this matter of politics, where maybe we just play politics of convenience and throw things debt at our opponents in the hope that some of the debt will stick, so that you use that as a basis to vilify the person, it doesn't really work out, because at the end of the day, I have absolute trust in my constituents. That's why we call the Sanaro people the Blichina people of the Sanaro constituency.
The people of integrity, like you said.
People of integrity. When you make a voucher your delegate, you don't show it the villages again. His competence is already established.
Let's wait for December, like you said. But you know, Joy is celebrating our 25th anniversary this year. What's your Joy story? What do you remember the most about Joy FM?
I think that among others who have been pace setters, your contribution to this, especially of news, is legendary. Let me take this opportunity to salute you and commend you. Even though, like I said, like any other media, you also have your shortcomings and your misgivings. And I think that as media people, we can always do better. The quality of your product, the sweetness of the pudding is not the aroma it emits. It's in the actual eating. And so I'm confident that even the laurels that you pick at GJ Awards and other awards, and even the people you've turned out, the legendary Komla Dumors and others, and then my good friend Honorable Kojo Komfrum, I've been in parliament with him. He's my very good friend, and we take our NDC MPP politics, and nevertheless we are still good friends. These are the products that have come out, and they are of service to our society. And so I want to take the opportunity to salute you and to urge you to endeavor to tie the loose ends of wherever you find yourself short. And you can be a better media organization. But I salute Joy FM for the good work you are doing for this country. And especially, you have done some exposés that have inured to the benefit of this country. Fearless journalism. This profession demands that we sacrifice our lives for the good of our country. I'm not saying that even if your head is strong, you should put it on the road as a test. But clearly, in the course of our duties, we step on toes and others. But stepping on toes should not be a barrier for us to pursue the journalism in the supreme interest of this country. So anything that we do, and I'm very conscious that the work we've done, we've tried to be of service to this country. And may Allah Almighty protect all of you who go out, especially in this era of intolerance and migration of threats from insulting journalists to beating journalists and killing journalists. I think that is a very serious thing we must all look at. But we should never be petrified into inaction. And I want to salute Joy FM.
Thank you.
All the other media for the good job you are doing under very trying circumstances.
Thank you, ABA Fuseini. We salute you as well. ABA was a game player. He identified the potential of his juniors in graphic newsroom and held them to nurture, saying, "You don't announce the death of a chief who dies in a market." Good morning. But Alaji, what is a red mango?
Red mango.
Red mango. I heard you use that expression. What is a red mango?
I'm sure it's too early in the morning.
So what does it what's it associated with?
It was a graphic balance. The young men used to use for fair ladies.
Fair ladies. Thank you very much. I think we can end it there. Like you said, it's early in the morning. You're still live on the Super Morning Show, Joy997 FM. We're going to take just a few messages. We'll be right back. Many thanks so much, JB Fuseini, for joining us this morning.
It's an honor and pleasure to be here.
All right. It's our honor and pleasure as well. Up next is Corruption Watch. We discuss the details of the Auditor General's performance audit report into the construction of 3 road projects.
Let's go.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.